This week on It's Too Wordy, the death of Starman? Welcome to this week's episode of It's Too Wordy, the comic book podcast where three buddies discuss comics from their childhood and today. I'm Kirk.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Nick.
How we doing this week, guys?
I'm alright.
Doing better than last week?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing a lot better than
Yeah.
last week, too. So this week on the show, we will be discussing Justice League number 26 and Shadowhawk. I got it right this time! Who wants to go do Justice League? Because apparently I can't do those.
Oof.
Did you read it?
Yes.
Did you like it?
Did I get the gist of it?
Did you comprehend it?
No. But of course, I haven't been reading Justice League, and it's a new arc
It's a new arc, but...
where they're bringing on a new crisis.
Yep.
Again?
Yep. Another crisis.
God damn. But what's cool about this issue was Martian Manhunter's on a mission by himself looking for Lex Luthor.
Yep.
So you get to see a little bit of John Jones doing his Manhunter thing.
And Hot Girl's pissed at him.
Yes. For not being around.
Not being around. Absent father, if you will.
But the House of Heroes, that was the best part.
Yeah, I love the House
like-
of Heroes.
You get to see Flash from Kingdom Come. You get to see Superman from Kingdom Come. You get to see the Vampire Batman and the Batman from Gaslight and Gotham.
Captain
Carrot. And even the Lamb.
I love
Liberty Lamb or
I
whatever it
love
is.
Captain Carrot. He's my new favorite.
Missing Shazam Bunny, though.
So is the Superman from this Earth, or is he from Kingdom Come?
The one with the black chest emblem is the one from Kingdom Come.
Okay.
He's on the bottom of that panel over there on that other page.
Yeah, he looks like Reed Richards.
And you get to see the DC's version of the Avengers in there. I was laughing pretty hard at that.
I was trying to figure out why they called it the death of Starman when all he did was
Pass out?
pass out.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first issue of a story arc. You got to read more.
And I was reading some reviews today, and everybody was like, "Oh my god, the question is back." You know, it reminds me of the Justice League Unlimited. Justice League Unlimited. And it was like, how do you know that's not Rorschach?
Looks like
you
Rorschach.
do not see his face, and he's wearing a brown coat.
That's who I thought it was when I saw him. I
You
thought
do
it was
not
Rorschach.
see his face.
I was like, oh, that's cool. They're bringing Rorschach in.
And they don't call him the question. They just say, you know, you were going to say questions. And it's like, well, that's the same character. I mean, they ripped off the question to make Rorschach.
To make Rorschach? Okay.
I got pretty excited about Detective Chimp.
Yeah,
Yep.
I figured you would. I do not like Plastic Man's new suit.
No. But that's because he's a part of that new group. I can't think what they're called.
But he's got shorts.
Yeah.
It's hot outside.
And he's been wearing the same outfit since the 1930s.
It's the Terrifics. That's what it is.
That's
It's
it,
Mr. Terrific. Yeah.
Apparently, Mr. Terrific likes short pants.
He's a hot guy.
He's got some pretty nice legs.
He's got some calves going on there.
I like how they're putting the newer kids through their paces with Black Canary and Hawkman.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I got to meet Starro. This is the
Jarro?
Jarro or Starro or
Yeah.
whoever he is.
Whiskey in the Jarro.
Yeah. This is the first comic I've ever read with him in it.
I don't know. What'd you guys think of it?
The end was quite a surprise.
Lionel?
Yes. Didn't really see that one coming. I like Martian Manhunter doing kind of like the detective stuff, and Hawk Girl being kind of the one that's running everything right now. And you just got an appearance of Superman and Batman. It wasn't about them. So I did enjoy that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I like that too. I was already gonna read this story arc because it sounded interesting when I read the synopsis before they launched it. Because it's got the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, I liked it. I wish I could have comprehended. I might have to read it a second time and go back through.
This is one of those that, because I read the first 6 in a trade, I think. First 5 or 6. And so I kind of had an idea what was going on. But clearly there was a lot that happened
Prior to this book.
that you kind of need to understand
Yeah.
to make this go a little bit better. But overall, I thought it was a pretty decent book.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm gonna continue the arc. I was waiting to see when they were gonna start a new arc with it. I was like, all right, I'm gonna buy this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah.
It's kind of dry in some bits. And who the hell is Perpetua?
I don't know.
No idea.
No.
Okay. So maybe I'll have to go back and buy the other 25 issues of this.
Is that
No, I won't.
No.
was Perpetua the one that was on the 25-cent cover that nobody could remember what her name was.
She could have been.
I bet you that's who that was.
That could have been who
on
it was.
the Year of the Villains 25-cent issue.
Probably.
That you got for free the next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a week. It was 3 days.
It was
later.
3 days, was it? Was it 3 days?
It was 3
It was
days.
3 days later, wasn't it? I'm still mad about that. You can walk into Ground Zero and they're gonna tackling this outside for free.
Yeah, I think that's who that villain was that we couldn't figure out when we talked about that one.
Okay, that's probably right.
And I didn't like how they gave up page space to Krypton.
Yeah, they could have given us.
They could have given us
more
those 3
story.
more pages.
They could have given us more story. They did that with Hawkman, I think. That pissed me off.
I'm sorry, 4 more pages.
They have been doing that to a lot of the DC books right now.
It's because nobody watches it. Hey, and there's a Swamp Thing on the back. That got canceled.
Even though it's canceled. And this is a new book, too.
Yeah, this came out after it got canceled, so why are they promoting it?
No idea.
Already published.
They already had the cover and the back cover.
Diamond was already in the
Nah.
process of sending out.
We cannot change this. It costs too much money to change the back cover.
It's already ready to go. All right.
So what did you rate it?
I'll give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'll say 3.5. It's you get to see Captain Carrot,
Yeah.
which is pretty amazing.
New start to a new storyline, not knowing what's going on. It led you there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'd say 3.5 on that as well.
all right, next we got Shadowhawk. You guys knew who this was before, so
I don't.
you didn't know?
I still don't know.
Oh, and Scott, thank you for telling us we should do Shadowhawk, because we're doing it. Like you read our minds, because we were talking about it before.
Yep.
And we're doing it. So this one's for you.
Did you see his comment today?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
and I totally agree with him.
I agree. I'm gonna give every one of you an electric shock if you scream into the microphone. That was you.
That was everybody.
That was you.
No, that
With
was
the
for
Banshee-
BTS.
That Banshee.
He hasn't
oh,
heard the Banshee yet.
Oh, okay.
And the Banshee's not that loud.
So we're all gonna get electric
Yes.
shock. Nice. Okay.
So, yeah, I saw that this morning and I laughed.
You want to review this one, Nick?
Shadowhawk is maybe it was the second tier of
was
I think
second
it's second tier. Yeah.
He's a vigilante who, like Batman, wears body armor, but unlike Batman, he breaks the criminals' backs so they can never recommit crimes.
That's
Yeah.
who it is. It's Bane.
It's
It is Bane. If Bane had an Iron Man suit.
Welcome, everybody.
But it's a mystery. It never says who he is in the first 4 issues. So they drop clues about multiple people. I think there's like 3 or 4
Yeah.
that are prominently him. There's a cop who's rich, whose parents are dead. There's an ex-DA
Mm-hmm.
who,
He gave up his job as the DA
right.
to work in the streets, I guess, or become
Yeah.
a drug dealer.
Yep.
I
Well, he
couldn't
didn't
really-
become a drug dealer. He was working with
He was-
troubled youth.
He was
or
mentoring.
something.
He was mentoring.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure. I was like, mentoring, or is he a drug dealer? His brother.
He's
drug
also
addict.
one of the suspects.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's a female private detective.
Mhm.
Is that what she is?
Yeah.
And she's just brutal. She was kicked off the force or using excessive force during arrests. So you got those 4.
Yep.
It's kind of hard to describe what this book is really about.
It's just him battling crime.
Right. There's a guy named Arson who's lighting fires around town. He
Real
goes
original name,
and
kind of like Pyro.
yeah. Savage Dragon shows up.
Spawn shows up.
Spawn does
shows
show
up.
up, and he's like, "Stop this before I come in and do this." And it was funny because Shadowhawk meets Spawn, and he's like, normally normal people, you don't get this. You're not afraid of them. This guy just emits fear.
Fear.
Like,
Yep.
You're just he's like, "Yes, sir, I will go take care of this."
Yep. I will do it right now. Please don't eat my soul.
No, I think the most interesting part about this book is finding the clues to who he was. And if you won the competition, which somebody did, you get an original art piece from the book. So you get a Jim Valentino original art, which is
Nice.
pretty
nice.
damn expensive.
Yeah.
I have some problems with the artwork in this book. I've seen Jim Valentino for years, and he's done a lot better. This seemed like he was really rushing it to get it done, but I like it. I still like the story.
I guess we're done. Ryan and I are done.
You want me to go through my clues?
Let's go through the clues.
Go through the clues.
All right. So for the competition, they wanted, and you notice on the bottom of the pages, they all have numbers. So the competition was, we want to know the panel, we want to know the page, we want to know the exact quotes, that you found and how they link up to who it is, right? So I did a little bit of it. I'm not going to do the panels, but issue 1, first full name was used. Nobody in the beginning, they used their full name until they got to Paul Johnstone.
Yep.
Paul Johnstone was the first person to be named fully.
Yep.
Number 2, Officer Jax appears to be...
Batman?
Officer Jax is on leave saying personal business. Like, he's never on time.
Yeah,
he's always
never
doing something
around.
personal.
Yeah, he's never around.
Issue 2, Detective Jax has a strong sense of civil duty. That's on page 6. Jack's parents were murdered, page 6. Oh, yeah, her name is Mina Christine, off the force for excessive violence. Issue 3, page 1, is an origin story of a guy getting mugged and how he never wants to feel that again. So could that be the origin of Shadowhawk?
Could be. What do you think, listeners?
Page 21, the DA has bruises possibly from a mugging or a fight.
Wasn't he possibly in that fire too? I'm just trying to throw
No, he was
out-
outside.
He was outside.
He was outside. Okay, so yeah, there's another clue. That's what I kind of thought. He got it from the fire, but
And in the, I think, second issue, they released who people are starting to think it is. So everybody thinks, a lot of people think it's everybody, like it could be anybody, like it's a team of them. A lot of the officer, Paul,
Yeah.
right? So it could be, oh, wait a minute, what's his name?
Officer Jax.
Officer Jax. They think it's a lot of them, or is him.
I
But-
thought it was all 4 of them.
The most amount in issue 2 was for Paul Johnstone,
Yes.
the DA.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you guys think it is?
I thought it was
I'm not going to announce who it is.
I thought it was a team of I thought it was a team, to be honest, since every different book showed a different angle.
I thought it was the DA. The cop went away for me immediately when it just coincided too consistently. I'm like, that's too obvious. They're not going to do that.
It was way obvious. He's always not there. He's got motive. He's got the money,
Yep.
and he's got that attitude that, would purely mean he's a vigilante most of the time.
I was hoping it wasn't Batman, but I still think it was a team.
The sister and brother, I can't remember. The sister, she turned into a villain, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. That shot that one in the whole head then. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to read the second series to find out.
Okay.
I'll do that tonight.
I will have to find the second series and do that too.
Okay, so you don't want me to tell you. I won't tell you.
You can tell me once Ryan leaves.
I'll tell you once you read the book.
You can tell me once Ryan leaves. I really want to know.
All right. I'll just circle it here in my book, and I'll just show you who it is.
Okay.
Sorry, it's Mina.
All right, there goes one that I don't have to worry about now.
It's
So no cop and no Mina.
It's Officer Jax.
I'll find out.
It's the drug dealer.
It is the drug dealer.
He makes bongs out of people's spinal columns.
All right. What do we think? I thought it was. I'm going to give it a 4. I really enjoyed it. It caught my attention.
It was a blast from the past because I haven't read that since '99. I think maybe no, it had to be like '95.
Yeah, it's about 95-ish.
So, yeah, it's been a long time since I've read that book, and I still like it. I kind of want to get the series.
What do you give it?
4.
I dug it. I'm saying 4.5.
Nice. All right.
I love the
guys.
covers.
Oh, the covers are great.
Covers are awesome.
I was thinking about buying the graphic novel, but I'm not paying $40 for it.
It's 40
Yeah,
bucks.
It's $40.
You can get all the single issues for like
I got $1.
$1. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I'll be able to find it at Comic Shop.
yeah, half price books, something
Half
like
price.
that.
I know it's not half price books.
It will be. Just give it a couple months.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
After people buy it from us, from our recommendations, they'll read it and they'll sell it.
the third one was the hardest one for me to track down the issues
Was it?
on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to move on to everybody's favorite segment, Random Reads. What do you got this week, Ryan?
How many random reads do you have?
2.
2? Okay. I'm not going to do Kazar.
No?
I've got a whole book,
You want me to do Kazar?
and I'm
Why
going to
not?
I don't want to do Kazar.
go. I'm going to go story by story, break it down. No.
Panel by panel?
Yep.
Do a whole Alan Moore thing?
No, it's okay.
See, I noticed the juxtaposition of this panel
Yeah.
offsets the juxtaposition of this panel.
Look what the artist did right here. Yeah. That color choice was perfect.
So
How many books did you read this week?
10.
Okay.
Mainly because one of the ones I'm going to review kind of took up a lot of time. I picked up Superman Year 1. It is the DC Black Label, kind of like what they're going to is their Vertigo style now, more adult, Elseworldish styles. And Frank Miller wrote it. John Romita Jr. drew it.
Did it hurt you to pay the money for it?
You know,
Did your hands catch on fire?
I struggled with it a lot. I went back and forth on it a little bit because I'm obviously not a JR fan. However, I read through it doing my best to ignore the art, which is still a struggle.
Even the cover's a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
So this is a different, like I said, it's like an Elseworld, so an alternate reality type book, doing Superman's origin.
So it's like Batman Year One.
Yeah.
Because Frank Miller did Year One for Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not good.
No?
No.
I was really excited that it might be good.
I tried really, really hard to be open-minded about it. And
How much was it?
$8. $7.99. And apparently, I'm not a big Superman guy, so I'm not entirely sure, but does he have telekinetic powers of some sort?
No.
No.
He does now.
Oh my god.
As a baby.
Oh my god.
When he meets Jonathan Kent, they still kept the Kents, that's fantastic. Superman eased Jonathan into the idea that, hey, there's a random kid laying out in the middle of a field. Take him home, using his powers.
So is he a telepath or telekinetic?
Oh, telepath, I'm sorry. My bad.
Okay.
So yeah.
Jesus.
He's never been a telepath, right?
No.
No.
Just double checking that one too.
He doesn't need any more powers.
And it kind of goes through him growing up and figuring out his powers and things like that. Gets him into high school. He hangs out with like the nerdy crowd who gets bullied constantly. And so he starts standing up to the bullies because apparently the teachers and the police and everybody else are scared of these bullies for high school kids. Yeah. And he meets Lana. They kind of have a thing going on. And Lana's like, hey, I got this information about the bullies. We can hand it over. We'll get them in trouble. Life will be grand. And one of the bullies overheard it, so they tricked Lana to come outside, and then they started to rape her.
Oh, wow.
But Clark, being the good kid that he is,
This isn't your
was
mom's
trying to still
Superman.
make it to her house by 8 o'clock because that's the time he's supposed to meet, and beats the crap out of him. And then starts flying Lana around, and life's great, blah, 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 blah. Clark decides he wants to sign up for the military, and joins the military and says his goodbye to Lana, and Lana's sitting on the top of her house towards the end of the book, and I love you and I miss you, and she just kept on yelling his name, and Clark heard it and looked out the bus window that was miles and miles away and saw the note, and yada, yada, yada. And that's kind of how it ended. My biggest problem with this is they still take place in Smallville, Kansas, but they have the Kents talking like they are from Mayberry.
Oh.
It's horrible. Let me see if I
You're
can
from
find an
Kansas,
example.
right?
Yes.
You don't talk like
You
that,
don't
do
talk like... No.
Can you?
No.
Can you
That's
do your
why
review like that?
Hey,
Yeah.
welcome here to Mayberry.
It's
I'm going to go right out here and do this right now. You know what I
because
mean?
the guy who wrote this has never been to the Midwest.
Exactly.
Let's see, I'm trying
It's
to find
All
some examples
cornfields
of
and
this.
cow pastures out here. We got running water and
They-
indoor plumbing.
Apparently, they say ain't a lot.
That's the South.
Uh,
And I know that for sure because I've been down there.
There's got to be a couple y'alls and stuff in there.
well,
too,
there's
right?
y'alls
Y'alls.
and yes, dumplings.
What?
Okay.
Yeah,
Mr. Miller, there's this thing called the Mason-Dixon line. Wow.
you're not helping anybody staying all calmed up like this, darling.
What?
Oh my God.
Okay.
We all talk like that, Nick.
Yeah, apparently we all do.
We all do.
I'm going
we're-
smack my butt.
We're gonna go down by the creek and we're gonna do some fishing,
Skipping some stones.
skipping some stones, and
God.
doing some crawdad catching and some frogging. We're gonna gig some frogs.
I just saw it all over the book, and I'm reading this, and my wife's in the same room, and I'm just like, oh my God. And she's like, well, what's wrong? Because she was watching something. Well, is it the show? I'm like, no, it's this book. About 2 minutes later, I said it again. She's like, what? What's wrong? This book is horrible. This is... And again, I'm not judging this off the art, even though I'm not a fan. Although, I did notice Peter Parker made an appearance. Oh, wait, that was Clark Kent.
Oh.
And
They-
Captain America made an appearance too.
They all look the same to me. But, yeah, for $8, I was hoping for something a little bit better. No.
You just put me off completely from reading that book.
It just... And I think a lot of it was just because of the Mayberry feel that they're trying to...
We're not Hicks.
Yeah,
rednecks. We have a lot of them, but not everybody is a hick or a redneck.
Well, remember in Lois and Clark, the first episode where Lois goes to Smallville and she meets his parents and she freaks out that they have cell phones and they have a fax machine?
Yeah.
They're like, it's the
We-
year, 1995?
We have modern technology
We're
out
not-
here.
You know, yeah, it pretty much, it's like the same thing. Like, and it's like, yeah, technology's reached us, dumbass.
Yeah, it just really bothered me that, being from the area, and now I know there's a real life Mayberry in like South Carolina or something like that, and I'm not saying that's what they're like. I'm just saying they're going off of
Andy Griffith's show.
Griffith's show, talking like those guys is what I'm saying. All right, anyhow, so that bugged the hell out of me. The second one is Out of the Blue by Garth Ennis and Kate Burns. This was it didn't come out in issues. It just came straight out to the book format. And it is taking place towards the end of World War II. And there's a pilot who just got stationed. And when he's coming into land, with clearance from the tower, another plane's coming in who got shot up. And they ended up crashing into each other. And the general blamed the pilot for it. So he kind of gave him all the crap jobs, put him with a really bad navigator, and put him in this plane they called the bitch because it would work sometimes and sometimes it wouldn't. It would just depend on what the plane wanted to do, kind of thing. And this is a 2-part series, and this was really good. I really enjoyed this. It gave you the perspective of what a pilot might, be doing during the World War II era, and the fight scenes were amazing. They just did a fantastic job of conveying that to pages. And Garth Ennis, he's a war guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he does know this stuff, and you can tell he's passionate about it because it just made it so much more enjoyable. So the overview of it, the Second World War is almost over, but no one seems to have told the Germans. As a Royal Air Force pilot, Jamie McKenzie finds out when he's assigned to a deadly shipping strikes along the enemy coast. Flying the Mosquito fighter bomber against heavily armored targets is dangerous enough at the best of times, but after incurring the wrath of a vengeful commanding officer, Jamie is assigned the most unpopular navigator in the unit, not to mention the least reliable aircraft. Worse still, the commander's sights are firmly set on Jamie's beautiful wife, Beth. So, this is $20, but like I said, there's no issues on it. It is published by Aftershock. Big surprise there.
Yeah.
And
Ryan recommending an Aftershock book?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And definitely, if you got the spare money to check it out, check it out.
Cool.
All right. I'll go next. First book I'm going to give you is Brigade number 2.
Woohoo!
Because I couldn't find Brigade number 1 in the quarter bin, so
Would you like a copy? I have 4.
yes, that would be nice.
All right.
It starts out they're fighting this guy named Genocide. Haven't decided who he looks like.
Apocalypse?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. And then they bring in Strife and the Mutant Liberation Front here. I mean, Brigade. Because this guy looks like Forearm. There's Strife.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty and Skids.
Yup.
I can't remember if they had a flyer, but so 3. And this dude looks just like one of the guys in the MLF too. He's got Strife's helmet on. So Strife loaned his helmet to this guy to borrow for the fight. Apparently, Youngblood is like a military organization, Special Forces military organization.
Yeah.
And these guys are like Renegade Youngblood,
I think...
is what I read.
What's the commander's name on that? I can't think of his name.
Battlestone?
Yeah, Battlestone was a part of that group. I think he was even a part of Team 7, which was... they took a bunch of characters from like Youngblood and those books and put them in like a Nom type of situation.
Now, I did kind of pick on this book a little bit, but I did like it because now I want to read it. But the only thing I don't like is that Rob Liefeld tends to, when he says DC is going to drive off a cliff, well, you haven't changed your art style in like your whole entire time. Everybody looks like Cable or
A New Mutant.
It looks like a New Mutant.
And every archer, none of them have strings.
Nope. And
Spartan doesn't have strings. He doesn't have strings.
This guy doesn't hold the bow right to me, but anyway.
Well, he had to fit it on the the panel, so...
Yeah. But, that being said, I kind of dug the story. I was originally a New Mutants fan. I am a New Mutants fan, and I loved it when he brought Cable in and, all of that. So it gave me that feel of a New Mutants X-Force comic book,
Right.
you know? So, and I'm still a big fan. He shoots shit out of his eyes, so he's not really like Apocalypse in a whole lot of ways.
They just stole Darkseid.
So he's
right
Darkseid.
There you go.
He's-
But they are getting their ass handed to them by this guy, and they get sucked into some kind of portal, and what's up?
Somebody cut out the Image Comics number 0 coupon.
I can't get it.
Who would do that?
Oh my god.
I think I have it.
I got 2 trading cards though.
Woohoo! For who? Who's in there?
We got Thermal,
Oh, you mean Firestar?
Firestar, and Giant Man.
Yeah. His name is not really Giant Man, is it?
No, it's Atlas. His name is Atlas.
How did they not? Okay, I'm not even bringing that up.
What? Go ahead.
There's an Atlas in Marvel.
I don't know.
He was in
Thunderbolts.
Yep.
But
Was
was
he
he
first?
being this was first?
Yeah.
Because Thunderbolt. Well,
Thunderbolts was later.
yeah.
I'm liking how I'm getting you guys into this book.
You don't have to. I love that.
I know
book.
you love this book. You've been touting it since we started.
Brigade and Bloodstrike. I
He's
tell
been
you.
talking about 90s Image for, I don't know, 3-4 years now.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I got on the bandwagon late.
I saved you from Wildcats, guys. So I had to bring Brigade because I thought Brigade was better than Wildcats.
Okay, am I going to have to do Youngblood number 1 next time?
Yes.
Oh, God damn.
Anyway, he starts flying like Cannonball, so
He still has legs, though.
he has legs. I'm blasting.
He's got one leg.
It's a mono leg. It
Yep.
goes. They transform into
He's got
one.
a giant calf.
Yep. Those are some wonderful muscles.
Itty bitty feet.
Itty bitty feet. Come on, man.
I've never joked with Rob Liefeld about his little feet.
Oh, I'm gonna pick on his little feet. Come on, man.
I
They're-
saw how mad he got when he was at a con and somebody did it to him, and I was just like, nope. I love your stuff, man. Here, can you sign this? Okay, I'll sign anything. Sweet, thanks.
No,
Yeah, he
I-
gets pretty frustrated
his-
with a lot of that stuff.
his. I guess I shouldn't bag on his art style. It's different. It's unique. It's just they look disproportionate most of the time.
He is
Rob
the only.
Liefeld and JRGR. It's the same type of thing. Their styles have never changed. It's just
Yeah.
who they are.
He is the only Marvel comic character that ever, or comic creator that ever had a 501 Levi's commercial.
Yeah, that's true. So they get sucked into this portal.
Yes, he did.
He did. That's right. I remember that.
Him and Spike Lee.
Yep. And
Never hear that in the same conversation.
they have to fight. I don't know who these guys are. I just lost their name. If they gave it to us or not. It doesn't look like they did. Nope, they did not. But now Brigade. However, it says you must do it on sovereign ground, and I'm like, they have to do it on a sovereign country? What is sovereign ground?
It's got to be something about their alien
Something.
Yeah.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. I paid $25 for it.
That's the miniseries one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
There's only 4 issues of that one.
Okay. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I think I'm going to start reading 90s Shadowhawk. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that name. And I think Brigade might be going in my collection too.
Got to get Bloodstrike too.
Can I look at the
because
back
there
of
is
it?
a crossover.
Oh, there is. That's how I found out about the Jean Grey character. I forgot to mention that.
Oh, here, take it.
In the back, I looked in here and I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, Jean Grey got her own book. Jean Grey got her own book, guys. Nope, that's Infinity.
So I love looking at old ads on
Yeah.
the back, like seeing how much books were at the time.
Should be $1, right? Or $1.25. I think that was the time frame. I think it was $1.25.
I think it's
$1.50. That one's $1.25. So
Yeah, there's nothing on here that I would really want. I mean, there's nothing on here that's important.
nope.
There's the Executioner Saga stuff,
Yeah,
or
Ooh.
Executioner Song.
that was a brilliant piece
That
of
was,
work.
Superman 75,
it's not important.
Doom 2099, Ravage 2099.
How much are those? $3 a piece?
$3.
They were $1.50.
See?
$1.50.
Yeah,
Ravage 2 is 99 cents.
Oh,
Robin 3000. That is something.
I just think it's funny that they have a list for X Mutants. That comic actually got a Genesis game.
Bloodshot #1. How are you skipping over that? I mean, that's pretty damn important.
Is it?
It had the blood on the cover.
That's right. I have one that has a bullet hole through it.
Is that?
It was
Was it a Punisher one?
No, it was some Comico comic, I think. I can't remember what it was. Special with bullet hole. Like, are you serious?
Ren and Stimpy #1. You're missing out on some quality stuff here.
it's not like that one where they had the first appearance of Spider-Man in his black costume.
No, for
all those big issues for Marvel.
Wetworks. That was pretty popular.
if it ever came out, because
I
I'm pretty sure when you pre-order it from there, it came out like 3 years later. Will's Patricio took forever to get that book out.
Oh,
And they hyped it up so much that
Oh.
I was like, I want to read this. And then it came out and I was like, I don't care anymore.
it was a fun book. That's why I waited until it was done.
I forgot how much. Sometimes the comic books from the 90s don't age well.
Most of them don't age well.
Most of them don't age well. But I enjoyed this. I enjoyed Shadowhawk.
I've been reading Savage Dragon. I'm loving it.
I might try to go back and find some Savage Dragon. I've been reading the Spawn books leading up to 300.
That's
So-
just one I could never get into. Spawn.
The one I just read was it was all the history of Spawn. And the thing I don't like about McFarlane is he does the book where you have to read it like this.
Sideways.
And I'm like, there's like 6 pages where I had to read it. I'm like, God damn it. So the next book I did, I highly recommend Brigade, by the way. I give it about a 4. I liked it that much. I nitpicked a little bit. But I actually did end up liking it.
Another member of the Brigade.
So the next one is
Blood Force.
Bloodstrike.
Bloodstrike
Well,
Force.
didn't you recommend Shadowhawk?
Bloodstrike Force. What?
Didn't you
Bloodstrike Wet Force. That's what it is.
Alright. So the next one I decided to do is my dad was in town this past week, I should say, not weekend. And we were talking about the show. And he handed me 2 trades of Umbrella Academy. I've been wanting to watch the show. I think I might wait to watch the show until I read these 2 books. And then my brother said the third trade should be coming out shortly, is what he was telling me. So this one, the first book, it talks about a bunch of kids that were born to single mothers. They don't know how they were impregnated.
All on the same day.
All on the same day. And they're all given up for adoption.
What was it? 54 of them, I think?
54 of them. And this is the story of like
7
of them. They were adopted by a man named Sir Reginald Hargreaves, a.k.a. the Monocle. They quickly it shows them their birth, and then their first story, the prologue is the birth and him adopting them. So I read that.
And they all came with domino masks.
They did. They all came with the superhero mask. And I was thinking Green Arrow, but yeah, domino mask would work too. This is by Dark Horse.
Gerard Way.
Yep.
From My Chemical Romance.
Yep. And the first story is called The Day the Eiffel Tower Went Berserk. And it's in France, and all of a sudden, the Eiffel Tower decides to up and fly away. And the police are like, oh my god, how can we do it? How can we stop this? And his name Number One? Yeah. Number One was like, excuse me, sir, but I believe we can help you. They're like 7, 8. And they each got different powers. And one guy's like a Cthulhu. He has like tentacles coming out of his body.
Yep. He's a Flurgan.
A Flurgan. There you go. And then there's one without the powers. And her name is Seven. And then she's like, why can't I go and be part of the action? Because you have no powers. You are no use. Go play your violin. That's basically what he tells them. So they go into the Eiffel Tower, and they find out that it's being run by a robot. Gustav Eiffel, the guy who created the tower, is a zombie, and he's taking over and he's making it fly. And so they defeat Gustav, and then it takes off. It takes off into space. And they're like, and Monocle's like, it's a spaceship. And they're like, Dad! And he's like, don't call me Dad. He doesn't like to be called Dad. He wants to be called Mr. Monocle, or Dr. Monocle, or whatever his name is. And so they win, and they celebrate by getting the key to the city and some ice cream. And then Number One says, I'll be in space one day. I want to go to space one day, and all this stuff. And his dad goes, yeah, you will. So you skip ahead to 20 years later, and he's on the moon. He's not known as Number One anymore. He's known as Space Boy. Very inventive name here, guys. Space Boy. And it shows all his exploits. He's got newspaper clippings and everything, and he receives a phone call. And he says, I'm on my way. So he goes back to Earth, and his sister, who is scantily clad here with a thong and a tank top on, Got to get that teenage boy interested. Look at that. She got sweet drawings of her ass. And she apparently wrote a book where she was very inflammatory about her family because she didn't have any powers. And so they show it. Space Boy shows up and he walks in and he's the guy. Somebody says, Space Boy, and he's like, Dr. Pogo, is it true? And this is the coolest part ever. Dr. Pogo is a chimp. Talking chimp.
Detective Chimp.
Detective chimp.
Lancelot Link.
And his dad.
Secret chimp.
They're all being called together because their dad passed away. This got me right away. As I was telling the guys before we started, I still had Shadowhawk to read, and I had Brigade to read, and I started with Umbrella Academy first, and I didn't want to put this down. I got halfway through the second chapter, and I was like, oh shit, I still have to read 4 or 5 comic books left, you know? I highly recommend this. If you haven't watched the show yet, I would recommend reading this before you watch the show. That's what I'm going to do. But yeah,
The show is really good.
it was a nice little surprise that this book was really good.
Since that show, that book has been very hard to come by.
So the first two volumes are out on trade. The third volume's coming out soon. Yeah, I highly recommend picking up and reading it.
And the show's on Netflix.
And the show is on Netflix right now. Yeah, I didn't expect too much out of it, and I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't think it was going to be this good, honestly.
He did another book. He's done a couple of them. He did a remake of Doom Patrol.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also did one, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys.
Okay.
Which, if you've ever watched any of the My Chemical Romance videos, there's a theme running through them. And it's based on those characters. Cool. And that was really good.
Yeah, they're in the lyrics too.
Yeah.
So I'm going to hurry up and finish these 2 so I can start watching the show. What you got for us, Nick?
I grew up when this book came out, and I did not want to read these because I thought this looked really stupid. It's New Universe, Marvel, from
Cyforce.
86. So I picked up 2. They were $1 a piece. I was like, why not? I'll try them. I have one before, and it was called Kickers Inc., I think number 7, about a professional football player. It's really stupid.
Wasn't that called Super Pro?
No, Kickers Inc.
Oh.
Kickers Inc.
Even worse.
No, I have Cyforce and Machine Man
Nice.
at home.
Yeah?
I picked those 2 up.
Machine Man was a good one.
Yeah. The later issues, like the limited series of Machine Man, if you can pick those up, I would recommend doing it because Iron Man 2020 is in it, and that's his first appearance. Yeah. And it's almost 2020 now, and Marvel is about to do this huge thing with Arno Stark.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's a rumor.
Isn't Machine Man making an appearance soon? I thought I read somewhere that he's making an appearance in one of the books. I think it was Guardians. I think.
He needs to show up again.
So go ahead, Nick.
So, first what I'm going to do is Starbrand number 1. You would think a book by Jim Shooter and John Romita Jr.
Jim Shooter, possibly.
would be all right, right?
Jim Shooter, sure.
You would think so. Not with JR.
Some juniors are fine. Like his early stuff when he was pretty much working on his dad's stuff, like inking his dad's stuff. Because John Romita is probably top 3 artists of Marvel of all time.
I hate his X-Men run.
So this book is a total Green Lantern knockoff. Can you believe it? Like,
I can't.
Let me see the cover again. Possibly.
Okay, so let's just say this guy. What is his name? I don't even remember. It was
Hal Jordan.
I read this in like 3 seconds, and I don't care for it at all. So it's about a guy who he's a motorcyclist. He's about to crash his bike, but he pushes his way through it and gets up that hill and comes across this burnt up landscape, right? And there's a guy. He stops in the middle of the landscape, and the guy walks out of it, and he's like, I've been waiting here for you for a long time. Waiting for somebody to take my gift, pretty much.
Oh, God.
So he's this weird, creepy old gnome, like, I don't know.
Sounds like a 2020 mystery.
He's got all white eyes and white hair and white goatee, and he takes him back to his base camp, and they like sit around and talk, and he touches his arm, and he gives him his hand, and he puts a brand on his hand, and he's like, don't worry about where it is. If you don't like it there, it'll move. You can move it later on. The kid passes out. Guy dies.
So is the tattoo the source of his power?
Yes.
So you could technically put it on your ass and shoot it out your ass.
Pretty much.
Nice.
But so then it would be a Power Pack crossover.
Yes. So while he's under, he's learning from when you're asleep and you're
subconscious.
Right. So he's learning through being asleep, getting taught how to use his powers, and so he doesn't wake up and be like, "Oh, fudge." an alien shows up and he's like, I want that power back. It's mine. This guy lied to you. And I don't know. I mean, there's a character in here called Debbie the Duck, and she every time she talks, she says quack, and it's just, I really hate this character. I hate her. I think I hate her more than I hate him.
Makes you wonder what the hell they were thinking about doing this back then, right?
God, if this was what they wanted to be Marvel Universe was supposed to become, I think we would have all just fucking revolted.
We would have been DC guys from jump.
Like, I think I still want to pick up Spitfire and other ones, but I think as far as Starbrand is concerned, it's done.
I tried Cyforce, and it made me go to sleep.
I kind of dig Cyforce. If you have a team of all psionic people,
I just think I was really tired.
Yeah.
So I might try it when I got some time.
I will say, looking at the art as you're flipping through there, it does. I mean, that actually looks different than other stuff of JR's.
Yeah.
He actually has a jaw.
Right? Yeah. He has a neck that's proportionate too. Superman Earth 1 or whatever that is. Earth 1 was good. Year 1. I'm going to take Ryan's view on it and not ever buy that.
I won't ever go near it.
Second book I picked up was Night Mask, #1. This book is phenomenal.
Is it?
Like, the Starbrand took me like 5 minutes to read. Night Mask took me about 20-25 minutes.
I want to borrow it.
It's backstory, it's character evolution, it's insane, right? So what it's about is this kid, when he's younger, his parents are scientists and they work on dreams, right? So they're like studying dreams, right? And they're going on a trip. They're sending the boy, they're at the airport, they're sending him off on a plane. And it gets bombed in the airport. He wakes up in out of a coma, and his sister's paralyzed, but he has the ability to enter dreams. So he's in the hospital with a whole bunch of people that were in the bombing, right? And he starts going into people's dreams, and he figures out who the killer was, who the bomber was, and who set up the bombing through people's dreams. And talk about synchronicity, right? So the Ring of the Nibelung has come up to me in the last week 3 times. It came up in this book, it came up with me in D&D, and it came up with me somewhere else. And it was just like, Jesus, now I have to ring the fucking Ring of the Nibelung. And it's like, no, this book, like, the artwork is great. You tell who people are. It's horrifying in parts. It's funny. It's good. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is one of the books that I've never wanted to read because this character always looked so stupid to me. He wears a all black suit. He's got a moon on his forehead. He's got like little black moon eyes. It looked stupid, but it's great. Like, I can't talk about this book enough. Like,
Who did this one?
Yeah, who wrote this one and drew it?
Writer and creator Archie Goodwin, penciler Tony Sammons.
Okay.
And inker is Brett Blevins. So it's fucking Archie Goodwin.
Wasn't he the relief pitcher for the Twins?
I think so.
That's Burt Blyleven.
Oh. Burt Blyleven, yeah.
Close. Wasn't Brett Butler a comedian? No, she was a baseball player. But no, this book is great. 5. Starbrand, yeah, 1.
Did you find that at Half Price Books?
For $2.
$2.
I think I got it for $1. I think I got a coupon or something.
All right, I want to borrow that.
It's only 12 issues. I'm really interested in getting the rest of them.
I want to give it a shot.
And he is an actual Avenger. Starbrand and Night Mask became Avengers.
Oh yeah.
Later on.
Trying to bring him into the universe.
Yep. And they made a big deal about Starbrand being in there. Night Mask wasn't so much in there that much, but he should have been.
Well, you had to wait for the bad guys to fall asleep.
Right. him and Dreamwalker were out, or Sleepwalker were out, just hanging out with Sandman and Dr. Fate. You know,
nice.
Dream's son, Dr. Fate.
So one's a 0 and the other one's a 5.
One's a 1 and one's a 5. Like,
nice.
No, it's great. Like, I couldn't believe it.
I'll have to add that to my list to read.
Yeah, now we gotta search for them.
All right, next we're gonna do for our top whatever lists. We need to come up with a name for this segment too. We're gonna do your top 7 Avengers and your top 7 Justice Leaguers. So I'll go first with my list. Number 7, I have Thor. My wife got mad at me because I put him at number 7, and I was like, I don't like comic book Thor as much as movie Thor, because he's not the same way in the comics. But I do like Thor. Number 6 is Hawkeye, because I've been reading a lot of West Coast Avengers. Number 5 is Wonder Man, because he's Wonder Man. Number 4 is Scarlet Witch. Number 3 is Vision. And I did this to troll people. Number 2 is Captain America. And number 1 is Ms. Marvel. So,
Solid list.
Yeah.
because she really is one of my favorite characters. So,
Yep.
All right, let's go next.
I'll go. So top 7, right? Number 7 is Namor. Number 6 is Beast. Number 5 is Songbird. Number 4 is Jack of Hearts. Number 3 is She-Hulk. And number 1 and 2, they're pretty much the same guy. Number 2 is Wonder Man, and number 1 is Vision.
Nice.
Okay.
I was telling Nick I was gonna do all X-Men characters who had become Avengers.
Let's see. So 10's Iron Man for me. 9's Wonder Man. Or, well, 7, 6. Yeah, that's where we're at. So 7 is Wonder Man. 6 is Iron Man. 5 is Doctor Strange. 4 is Hulk. 3 is Captain America. 2 is Miss Marvel. And 1 is Quasar.
Very nice.
Nice
Quasar.
list. Nice. Quasar number 1.
The Green Lantern ripoff for
Marvel. Why did you do it? Is that why you picked Quasar for number 1?
Yeah.
Because he was a ripoff of...
Yeah, I enjoy the character.
Okay.
I was going to put Captain Marvel on there, but he was an honorary member after he died, so it didn't really count.
Yeah. So, yeah, Ms. Marvel for me is one of my favorite characters. I really enjoyed Captain Marvel, the movie.
Yep.
I really enjoyed it. We should talk about that a little bit here in a minute.
Sure.
So, yeah, she's invulnerable, which was kind of funny in the movie. I'm like, makes total sense. She's a mutant. She's a mutant.
Sure.
Carol Danvers is a mutant.
Sure.
No, I don't know. Anyway, but, she's not this... How do I want to say this? She's not a Mary Sue. If you've read anything in the comic book, she's not a Mary Sue. Like they're making her out to be.
Right.
Her story, her arc is pretty good. She's a recovering alcoholic. So, yeah, that's why I put her at number 1. 1, because I love her. And 2, I wanted to troll all you neckbeards.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What do you got for JLA?
Number 7, Blue Beetle. Number 6, Booster Gold. 5, Aquaman. 4, The Flash. 3, Hawkman. 2, Green Lantern. Hal Jordan. I wrote it down because I knew you'd ask me which one.
Because they've all been in.
And Batman.
Okay.
Seems like I've read the most Batman recently.
Yeah. We've had a lot of Batman lately. All right, so mine is 7, Captain Atom. 6, Blue Beetle. 6 Blue is Blue Devil. 5 is Nort. 4 is Power Girl. 3 is Metamorpho. 2 is Blue Beetle. And 1 is Martian Manhunter.
Nort was in the knockoff.
He was in Justice League International. Can't go wrong with Nort.
So, Martian Manhunter, number 1.
Yep. He's the heart of the team.
He is.
He's been in every incarnation of it.
He has. I like that pick. I like that list.
All right. So 7's Nightwing. 6 is Shazam. 5 is Wonder Woman. 4 is Martian Manhunter. 3 is Firestorm. 2 is Zatanna. And 1 is Green Lantern, Kyle.
Kyle. All right.
He was the most imaginative out of all of them.
He was your Green Lantern, so...
No, I went back and forth on Hal and Kyle. John was not an option. Guy was there for humor. But Kyle was learning, and with him being an artist, being able to create whatever he wanted opposed to just the standard boxing glove fist thing, just stood out for me more.
Okay.
And I will say Jon Stewart was really boring before they made him military.
Yeah.
Like, just the architect was super boring. And then they retconned him being in the military, and then he actually became a more interesting character. Still not very interesting, though.
He was on Arrow, wasn't he? They kind of hinted at him being, because there's a guy named John on Arrow.
Yeah, but that's John Dinkle.
John Dinkle. Okay.
I think in an Elseworlds type story that they did kind of hint that he was Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I said, that's got to be Jon Stewart. That's who it's got to be.
When they introduced John, Jon Stewart, he was a very interesting character. And then they kind of went to this boring format.
Mosaic
was horrible. I
That
own
stopped-
all of them, but
That stopped me reading anything with Jon Stewart in it for a long time.
Dark Stars, he was a Dark Star. Not a great book, but
Donna Troy was a Dark Star.
yeah. I understand why people like him. Just not mine.
All right. Pretty solid list here, guys. All different number 1s.
They're all different.
Yeah. I just was not going to add Batman, no matter what.
I've been
I would have put Nord on the list before Batman.
Well, true. I don't know. I've just been reading a lot with him lately, and I'm enjoying what I've been reading because it's all the good stuff. I haven't read any of the bad stuff.
See, and I was kind of thinking of it as my favorites, but at the same time, having what capabilities they have. So Nightwing has that detective skill. Or Martian Manhunter has that skill. Don't need a Batman for that.
True.
Martian Manhunter's already got the power. Wonder Woman's got power. Shazam's got magic power.
Is this going back to the age-old question, why is Batman a superhero?
No.
Or is it the age-old question, is Batman a mutant?
Could be.
I mean, when we were reading that book and it showed him lifting weights, did you count how many plates were on that?
There were a lot of plates on that.
There was like 8 each side. That's not human possible. He has got to be a mutant
You
somewhere.
didn't see the number. It said 5.
Oh, that's right. There was like 8 fives. That's right.
8 fives, yeah.
So I was like, that's not, no. And with him being able to think like he does, with him being able to create gadgets like he does, he's not human.
No.
He's something else. And when everybody's like, oh, he's just a human, I'm like, no, he's not.
White Martian.
He's
Could be.
he's something else.
There's White Kree. Why not White Martians?
There are White
There are
Martians.
white Martians. And they bastards. So read some Martian Manhunter if you don't know who a White Martian is. No, I'm just kidding.
I don't.
No, they show up
But
in
I like Martian Manhunter.
they show up in Supergirl, the show. A
Okay.
lot,
Okay.
if you can still stomach watching that show.
I haven't ever started watching that show.
Do not like it. I've stopped watching a lot of DC TV shows. Kind of wondering how they're going to do with Batwoman, though.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch that a couple times. But I gave up on The Flash. I gave up on Green Arrow. I gave
I gave up on Flash after season 1.
Supergirl, Black Lightning. Just if you want to make a TV channel, just make a TV channel.
I haven't given up on Legends of Tomorrow yet.
I have 12 episodes to catch up on.
I've got 30 episodes to fill.
I think I watched Arrows through 3 seasons and Flash season 1, and I was like, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I watched Arrow until end of season 3. I didn't watch season 4. I didn't watch from 3 on.
So you guys want to do your cast-offs that you did? That you don't want to...
Well, my list for cast-offs is quite long for the Avengers. We could be here all night.
I think my cast-offs for the JLA were Black Canary, Phantom Stranger, Mr. Miracle, Aztec, Plastic Man, Firestorm, The Creeper, Dead Man, Man-Bat, and Detective Chimp.
I really wanted to put Detective Chimp.
Yeah, it was close.
I was gonna... Adam was one of them. For some reason, I didn't put Martian Manhunter on. I'm like, why didn't I put Martian Manhunter on my list? I was trying to make it different. I knew Mick was gonna have Martian Manhunter.
Oh, yeah?
No, I didn't. All right. So we want to talk about Captain Marvel?
Sure.
Since we're 3 months behind on that one, because I didn't go to the theater and watch it.
I did not either.
The reason I say she's a mutant is because she was able to take the blast from that core from the. She's able to
Absorb the Kree power source.
absorb the Kree power source.
Oh, sorry. From the Tesseract?
Sorry, the Tesseract. Yeah. No, that's why I said she's a mutant, because there's no way anybody else would have been able to absorb that.
Thor. He took the power of the sun.
True. But human people. I guess Bruce Banner did gamma rays.
Yeah, not really the same thing.
Not the same thing, though.
Was she qualified as a mutant due to binary?
She was on the X-Men, so she could have been. They could have made her a mutant. But yeah, the beginning was confusing for me. I was like, what is going on here? It wasn't the normal origin story. You know how you get movie begins, you get
goes
the origin.
in order, right? Like starts with them as young and then going to old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was confusing at first, and the first time we watched it, I was having a hard time. I'm like, I don't understand this. I'm gonna have to watch this again later. And then it made sense. I just didn't expect Okay, what do you think, Ryan?
I really enjoyed it. It wasn't as serious as a lot of them. It was just I viewed it as more fun.
Yeah.
And now I watched it after I watched Endgame, so I realized
it's the same way with me. I was like,
I think that's why I could enjoy it more for the fun end of things than because I already knew that she didn't play a major part in Endgame.
Yeah.
So the cat was amazing. I love the cat.
Goose. Goose was awesome. I love when they're up in space and he's just kind of stuck up against the boxes. And then he's floating in space when they, yeah. It was a fun movie. I didn't see any kind of social justice warrior,
Female agenda.
I didn't
I don't get it.
I didn't see a feminist agenda when I watched it. Maybe it's because I knew a lot about the character before they brought it out.
That does help a lot. When you know a lot about a character, you can usually not see those things.
Yeah. What'd you think, Nick?
So when I watched in the theater, I was confused on who was playing Marvel.
Okay.
Like, I thought it was
Judd Law.
Jude Law. Because
That's
in the
what I thought it
IMDb, they lied to us. They were like, Jude Law is playing Marvel.
I thought Jude Law was Marvel.
So I was like, I wasn't even concerned about why she was seeing this white-haired woman, with the name Lawson on her shirt.
We just wanted to give Annette Bening a job.
Right. And it's fine. I like Annette Bening.
I like Annette Bening too. She did a good job.
But then I'm watching it and I'm like, wait a minute. That's not Marvel. That's Jan Rog.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's Jan Rog. Then who's Marvel? And it hit me in the theater and I'm like, oh! Okay, now I get it. It just took me for a little bit of surprise that they switched it like that. Not that it was bad. I don't really care because even though I'm a huge Marvel fan from way back in the day, it didn't bother me that they switched his gender because it really didn't matter because Marvel did what they do to him all the time is piss on him. They
Yeah.
Instead of giving him a bigger role in this movie, which he was a huge part of the 70s and the 80s of Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since then, after he died of cancer, they just kind of like pissed on him. Like he'll just like show up in a Captain Marvel comic, and it'll be a Kree or a clone, or it'll be some kind of it'll be a Skrull or something like that.
Yeah,
it just pisses me off. Like it's just like you just pissed on his memory. But it didn't bother me that much because I was expecting them to do something like that. Like he wasn't going to be a big part of the movie. It's just mostly going to be about Carol, and that's okay. I like Carol.
Yeah.
I mean, Carol's pretty interesting in herself.
Yep.
Marvel has done a lot of horrible things to that character.
Yep.
But no, I dug it. I thought it was really good. It's maybe one of my top 5 for Marvel movies.
The thing about it is I was like, okay, I can't put this over Endgame. I can put it right under Endgame because I loved Endgame. And Sony's like, I put it over Endgame. I'm like, even though your favorite character passes away?
Does he?
I don't know. This is Marvel after all.
And they do have a multiverse now, so...
They do.
Welcome back, Tony Stark. Welcome back, Cap. Welcome to the Invaders.
Is that why Iron Man didn't make your list?
Iron Man's never been one of my favorites.
No?
I find Tony Stark to be dry. This is back in the day when Tony Stark's body was just completely failing him at all times.
Yeah, you have to disassociate Marvel, or movie Tony Stark, and comic book Tony Stark. They're not the same.
No. I grew up, Tony Stark was always drinking. He was always having problems with his body, like his liver was shutting down, or he was having lung cancer, or he was having brain problems, and he was never interesting to me. So the movies are good. He's just not one of my favorites.
I agree with that. The only reason he made my list was just because of all the different suits he's created.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the interesting part, not himself.
Yeah. Demon in a Bottle is awesome. We should review that.
Could. Or the Iron Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those two. I just read Demon in a Bottle not too long ago, and that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, so I it's funny that people are like, oh, we'll never see Cap again. Why? He goes back to 1950 or whatever. What was it, like 1940? He pretty much shows up in 1945 after his plane goes down. That's pretty much what they said. Was he shows up at that almost exact time.
Yeah.
And goes to see Peggy. So why couldn't he form the Invaders?
True.
There's the fucking robot, Human Torch, right there.
Yep.
He could go grab. There's Namor, who's already there. Why not?
They don't have the rights to Namor.
They could get it. It's Disney. They just have to pay off a little bit.
Disney wants to own the world, so they could do it.
Or they could have somebody else. Raymond or Ramon. His name is backwards.
Ramon.
Roman. His name is Roman backwards.
Roman.
So it would be pretty easy to just bring Cap back. Just have him back in the past.
It's easy to bring everybody back.
Right. You have a multiverse.
Yeah.
And you guys got to remember that they could just they could do the Kree Skrull War, and they could have Rick Jones like starting to take people out of timelines and bringing them in to fight the war.
Yep.
That would be sweet.
But
they'd have to introduce Rick Jones, and they'd have to redo the Hulk origin story. Because they've never actually shown the Hulk origin story like it is in the comic. They're always doing the TV show where he's in the lab and he experiments on himself.
I totally forgot that's how he got the power of the Hulk, because I haven't seen that TV show in a long time.
They did it in the Edward Norton movie.
Yeah.
They did it in the Eric Bana movie.
Yeah.
And maybe you should go back to the Gamma Bomb.
Do Gamma Bombs.
You haven't even brought up how the Hulk was created in this part. unless you're counting the Ed Norton Hulk movie. It
I
is
can't
it is in there, and I do love that Hulk version.
Yes, I know. We all know you love Edward Norton's version more than Mark Ruffalo's.
Yes, because
I
if
agree
I was
with
a
that.
if I was a giant raging Hulk beast who could shapeshift, I wouldn't have belly fat. I'd look like a giant steroided freak.
That's true.
And that's exactly the opposite of Bruce Banner.
Yeah.
Because Banner wouldn't want to look anywhere like Banner.
Yeah.
Why would you have an alternate reality or alternate version of yourself that looks just like a bigger you?
Yeah. Ed Norton really shot himself in the foot with that.
God, some of the
'Cause I-
CGI was bad, but God,
I really liked that
the
movie.
design was so
I
much
really
better.
liked that movie, and the Hulk was better.
he was a better character.
Yeah, I
Like-
did like that movie.
The interaction with that Hulk and Betty
Yeah,
is so much better than this Hulk and the Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I think they gave more time to it, but it'd be nice to see if Betty show up in another Avengers movie sometime down the line and kind of rekindle that whole thing.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Okay.
Okay, Captain Marvel, right?
Yep.
All right, so,
Back to Captain Marvel.
Nick Fury losing his eye to a Flurrigan,
Kind of lame.
kind of. Okay. That takes all of Scorpio out. So Jacob Fury never comes along, never takes his eye, never turns against S.H.I.E.L.D. apparently. Or even if there is a Jacob Fury, maybe he's Cobb Fury now.
Isn't this version of Nick Fury the Ultimates version?
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they did bring that Fury into the Marvel continuity of the normal continuity, like the Earth 616.
Yeah.
He's Nick Fury Jr. He's the
Nick-
son of the World War II Nick Fury.
So Nick Fury had an affair with a black woman, or married a
Apparently.
black woman.
Apparently,
Married a black woman.
yeah. They don't really say who his mom is,
Scandalous.
but
Just-
yeah,
So
he's-
that's pretty awesome. I love that. If that's the case,
he's Nick Fury Jr.
nice.
Or
Okay.
it's a code name like James Bond.
I like
Coulson?
Coulson, how they made Coulson young.
He didn't look quite right though.
No, he did not. He looked off, but it was a nice try. It was a nice try, and making Sam Jackson look 30 years younger or 24 years younger or whatever. That was kind of funny.
It made me really miss the 90s though.
Yeah.
Like
The
when she got to the
music.
Blockbuster and then she's at the payphone and there's like the Smashing Pumpkins poster and the Pixies poster and
Yep.
like I was like, damn.
I miss the music.
I,
I miss all of that.
I'm-
I think that's why we're enjoying reading the 90s image books.
I miss not having to be tied to a cell phone.
Yep.
I miss just going out and being like, okay, I'll see you in like 2 hours. If you need me, I'll be home in like 2 hours.
What was it? The other day I forgot my phone and I thought it was the end of the world, and I'm like, what has happened to me?
Right.
Why couldn't I just, enjoy the day without having my cell phone? But it's so weird how we're so goddamn connected to those things.
I didn't like the guy who played the Skrull.
Really?
Okay, so no,
Jason Statham?
I like him as an actor, right? But I didn't like how he played the Shield agent and the Skrull, because the Skrull looked exactly the same. So it was like he
Yeah.
didn't really have to change his face too much.
Who was this? I didn't catch who the Skrull was.
The Skrull was okay. So remember in Ready Player One,
Yeah, no,
the guy who plays Sorrento,
yeah, he's in Rogue One too.
right?
Mendelsohn or something like that.
Right. So yeah, but
Yeah,
he played.
yeah.
He
He played both.
both.
Oh,
And now that you know, you'll see it when you see
I
the
noticed
when you
Skrull.
look at
it,
it, when you look at him.
It's like-
Okay,
He doesn't change his voice. He didn't change his look. It's just like
I'm gonna watch it again, so I'll have to look closer this time.
yeah, and you'll see it.
Yeah.
Like maybe they should have got somebody else. He could have played a different Skrull.
Yeah.
But-
I didn't like that the Skrulls were good guys.
Okay, now we're going to talk about the Skrulls being good guys. There's good Kree and there's bad Kree. There's bad Skrulls and good Skrulls. So this could be the offshoot that didn't want to fight in the war.
They were refugees aboard Marvel's ship.
Right. So they could have just easily been the non-warlike Skrulls who wanted off. There's always people who don't want to fight in their war.
Yeah.
And there's some Kree that defect too. So
It took me a while. I think with the first time we watched it, and I was watching, it took me a while to realize that the Kree were actually the bad guys.
yeah.
It took me a minute to realize it, and then I saw Ronan, the accuser. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
plot twist.
Yeah, it's nice that they actually showed the Kree as who the Kree really are.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kree showed up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Mhm.
Horrible bastardizations of the Kree. They were Ponzi, and they collected art, and they were hoity-toity, and it was just like, this is stupid. This is not the Kree. The Kree would just show up and destroy everything.
Yep.
If they didn't like you, you're dead.
I love the music. Just like Nick said, I loved all the music in it. I liked I'm Just a Girl when she's fighting all the guys in the spaceship. That was like freaking awesome. And Piper's like, I know who that is.
I was trying to think of a different song for that part.
She goes, this is Spiderwebs. And I'm like, same group. Good job. Different song.
I was like, where's the Meredith Brooks?
I'm a bitch.
That should have been
perfect.
That should have been that part.
That would have been perfect for that part. I dug it. I like at the end of the movie when she takes out, what's his name?
Yonrog?
Yonrog. And then he's like, he puts his gun away and he's like, I knew you could do this. And then he's like talking like, now you can really test yourself and see what you got. Put your, and she's, and just shoots him across.
Prove it to me. Prove that you can do this.
Yeah, and he just shoots him across the fucking desert. And then when she goes up and she takes out the ship and she's looking right at Ronan and she, and makes I was like, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, we're gone.
We'll be back for the weapon.
We'll be back.
The Tesseract? No, the girl.
Yep.
Yeah. There is a scene, I'm not going to ruin anything, but in Jessica Jones, there's a scene in the new, it's a ripoff of that, where this guy's like, all right, now prove it to me, right? Prove you can do this without your powers and blah, blah, blah. He just fucking throws that dude so far. It's like, I knew there was a Captain Marvel Easter egg in there, and that was it.
Yep.
Because she just, ugh.
That was one of my favorite parts of the film. The other one was Goose, where they put the cat up and he like and just eats everybody. They
actually CGI'd the tentacles, but they didn't CGI the people. So the people were on like strings and wires.
So they were
actually bumping around.
Bumping around. That's awesome.
So they CGI'd around them.
That's awesome.
To make it look more real.
Yeah, this movie, I don't know why everybody hated it. These people hated it. It made $1 billion, so obviously not everybody hated it.
I think it had a lot to do with the fact that it was just, again, I looked at it as just being a fun movie.
It was.
And it didn't develop like the Iron Man or the First Avenger or those other ones where it's kind of like an origin story.
Yeah, like I said, it confused me because they didn't really explain the origin story until the end of the movie, midway to the end.
I do have a question, though. How did she know how to make a communicator from a telephone, a Game Boy?
At that phone thing?
Yeah.
Well, she is a military operative.
It's very E.T.
Yeah.
Where he takes the speak and spell and the record player.
I didn't even think about that.
If you take into consideration that when she was actually taken up and she kind of blacked out, they did do a lot of training on that stuff.
Right.
So it's very possible that they trained on the technology. Because I
That's
was like,
just awesome,
so you're just making a phone that can call across
that far. And it was funny that the long distance operator came on.
That was funny. Who didn't get pissed off at that?
You have 30 seconds left on your phone call.
Yeah, there used to be these time limits on how much you could call long distance, guys. It wasn't free. No,
it's probably in my top 5.
It's in my top 5. It's probably right underneath Endgame.
See, I think it was way better than Endgame.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm just being obstinate that I loved it. I don't know, because I'm seeing a lot more. No, what I'm saying is I'm seeing a lot more hate for it on the internet, and I'm like, were we not in the same movie theater?
I thought Endgame was fine. I mean, it wasn't the best one I'd seen. I think my expectations for it were thrown out the window within the first 5 minutes after they just went in and destroyed Thanos. And I'm like, I don't know what's happening now. What's happening? What's going on?
It was a good time travel story.
Yeah, but because of that, I think it kind of lessened the impact for me a little bit because you thought they were going to build up to this big battle.
Big battle with Thanos.
Which they did.
Go and kill him.
But right.
Not go kill him and then, I don't know. It's definitely in my top 5. I don't even know what my top 5 is anymore because every time I see one, it gets replaced.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You can follow us on Twitter at It's2Wordy1. Send us an email. I didn't check the email this week, but send us an email with your questions or comments. Email address is It's2WordyComicBookPodcast@yahoo.com.
We have an Instagram now.
Instagram?
I think it's Too Wordy.
It's Too Wordy?
Just search for it. You'll find it.
Okay.
There's only like 12 posts so far.
I'm not even following it. I just got back on Instagram. Okay, we're on Instagram.
It's just pictures of comics and maybe some questions that you guys could answer.
Okay. Have fun. Read more comics. This has been Kirk.
Nick.
Ryan.
See you guys.
And we're on Himalaya, and we're also now on iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Yep.
Okay.
So go out and check those out. All right, guys.
All right. See ya.
See ya. Bye.
It's another attack! There's a human! Evil that flies within. Who can stop him? Earth core, I hope! Evil that flies within.
Can Earth Core stop this evil before it's too late?
In you it